Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Garment Decorators podcast. I am Andy. I am in charge of education for Stahls UK and Target Transfers. I'm also joined by Molly today.
Hello, everyone.
So we are the home for heat printing in the UK. We're coming to you from the Heat Print Innovation Centre in Braintree in Essex. And today we are coming to you with a very exciting announcement that is going to be something very special for all garment decorators.
So listen up.
Yep.
Very, very exciting.
So I'm really pleased to announce, and some of you may have seen us already, but we are going to be doing a giant global masterclass virtual event across multiple continents, together with our brothers and sisters at Stahls and also our partners at Velflex in Australia. So
Is that the first time that you've said that as an announcement, like officially?
I think so. I don't think we've actually recorded any other content like that around.
I was listening and I was like, I think that is the first time I've heard you say it like that.
So we're going to be putting on the world's biggest ever heat printing event.
We are.
It's going to be covering all continents, all time zones, and it's going to be a full day of masterclass content especially for anyone that's doing apparel decoration on demand. This is a must-attend event, and we have a really stacked card for everyone to come and enjoy and learn something and take something away from every single class that's going to be involved with us. So I'm really, really excited. And we have a really good speaker lineup. Ourselves will both be involved throughout the day, learning lots and lots of different. We're helping you learn lots and lots of different things.
I'm sure we'll probably learn a few things as well.
I have no doubt that we're going to learn some things. So I just wanted to have a quick podcast today to let everyone know about this. To
talk a bit more about it.
A little bit about what to expect from the day. So talking mostly from UK kind of angle of things, it will be starting at 12 p.m. UK time. And it will go quite late, but that's because we will need to make sure that we cover all time zones to make sure that those in East Coast America and West Coast America can also benefit from the day.
Yeah.
And our friends in Australia can kind of probably start the day and then come back in and
finish it in the morning.
Yeah. There will be a link for registration in the description. So make sure you go there. Make sure you're following us on all our social accounts. Make sure you're signed up to our newsletter and emails, and you'll be the first to know more about this. But it will be a really full day. So like I say, it starts at 12 o'clock at UK time, which will be 7 a.m. Eastern time for anyone that's listening from the US. And it's basically going to be lots and lots of different types of educational sessions. So we're not just going to talk at you for 7-8 hours. Although we could. There's so much to talk about when it comes to apparel decoration on demand, but we will be kind of mixing up with different sessions as well. So as well as sort of general talks, there will be some practical fuse-alongs. There will be an exclusive event kit, which will be limited in numbers that you can get hold of as well. But we will also be bringing in external guests as well for panel discussions. So there will be the likes of Bella Canvas and SanMar, many, many others that are still to be announced that will be involved in this as well.
Yeah, we're not going to give it all away on the first podcast. It'll be way too easy.
Because we want to make sure that we're providing real value for absolutely everyone who attends and make sure this is the most in-depth, most interesting, most educational event that's ever been put on for heat printers.
So we're going to cover everything from beginner, like if you're just new in the industry, all the way through to advanced, or what does the actual schedule look like? This
is more geared to people that perhaps everyone can take advantage of this day. I would say that it's slightly more geared to those that have already started and to those that are growing. We do a lot of content around starting out, and if you're starting out, you should listen to this because everything will be relevant to you. Even if it's not relevant on day one, you need to be building towards these steps that be taken on. But we really want to add some great educational content for those that are already in the business, those that are established, give you the chance to still learn and continuously learn and make sure that, because those that are kind of committed to continual education are the most successful customers which we see across the globe.
Yeah, and there's no such thing as knowing too much or having too much education around that chosen subject field. So,
but we will be doing lots of other like Q&A bits and pieces as well as part of the day. So even if you think even if you're starting out and you're like, I've got a question, but I'm a bit worried to answer this because I think it might be a stupid question. We won't. There will definitely be no such thing in that instance.
Well, there isn't, is there? Even in the content that we do now, like any question is valid, and we answer, mostly the same questions week in, week out. But every customer that comes along is a valid question for them. So, will people be able to ask questions during the talks? Because obviously this is all online. It's all on an online system. Will it be like our lunchtime lives where people can comment a question and we answer it as we go, or will it be a case of you watch the class and then you attend a panel to ask your questions? How will that work?
You could definitely ask questions as we go along. So as we go along, there will be plenty of option to ask speakers Q&A questions as they go through the talk. So absolutely, it's really important that you ask every single question you want to answer. We'll have time for all of them. So please get your questions in. There's a very good chat system within the event platform that we've built out. So there'll be lots of Stahls staff in the chat as well, so that we can, even if it's just a little question that doesn't need to be fully answered, if you just want a link to something, there'll be people in that keeping an eye on it, making sure that you're getting every question answered, no matter if it's big or small. There will be specific Q&A sessions as well, breakout sessions where it's literally just ask us anything. But there's also going to be virtual exhibition booths as well. So it means that if you would just like to speak to someone very specifically about heat presses, or you want to speak to Bella Canvas about their new fleeces or t-shirts or how to get started with them, you'll be able to go and visit their virtual booth. And if they're free, arrange a quick video chat with them as well.
That is extremely valuable. Like that is really good. How many chances do you get to do something like that?
So it's a proper trade show just online. So it's not just a case of his 7 webinars back to back. It's a fully immersive day. So you can get all those questions answered. There will be networking areas, so you can speak to other like-minded people you might want to, peers in your industry that you might want to chat to, you have similar interests. You can ask advice for. There'll be lots and lots of opportunity to get every question answered. So I just thought I'd give you a quick rundown of what we have lined up for you. So
sneak preview of the schedule.
So do go to the event page with the link in the description to see the full setup. But we will be talking about heat printing on demand. This is one of the biggest growth areas for garment decorators, especially with the introduction of some of these sort of full color transfer options that are available, and some of the efficiencies you can get from heat presses these days. It's a true heat print on demand service now, so you can do minimum runs of 1, you can do quick turnaround, but we're going to show you how to do this properly, because there is a nuance to it, and there are some mistakes that we see people making that we want to help and give you some examples of the most successful people doing this. We're also going to cover decoration trends from around the world, which I think is really interesting for everyone, because obviously I'm here in the UK and we're doing this podcast. We're mostly talking about what's happening in the UK in this moment and what's likely to happen in the near future, but we don't always get the chance to kind of go back and forth. Sometimes we have like Jenna or Kelly or Dave on the podcast, we can talk about what's going on in the US.
Yeah, which is always really interesting because it's so different to hear.
Exactly, but there's trends in Australia and the US that affect the UK and vice versa. Where you can absolutely learn from everyone. You can see what trends are occurring elsewhere that will come sort of down the pipe and affect you sooner or later. And they might give you some ideas like, I never even thought about that, but now I can offer this to my customer. Find a blank supplier for a particular product and be like, I should do that. That's a great idea. So I want to share decoration trends from around the world to make sure that everyone can learn and have new ideas and take away something different to offer their customers post-event as well.
That's a very long list.
One of the biggest topics at the moment is around sustainability.
100%.
We talk about it a lot because we have a very sustainable transfer product, but understanding the whole scope of what makes something sustainable is really important. It's something that all customers and end users are very acutely aware of, and they're starting to push that demand towards garment decorators. So we're going to have a panel of experts talking about what to look for with sustainable products, what makes products sustainable, and how to make the most of that, and how to understand the messaging and get questions answered about what customers are expecting from those.
And there's a lot of, like you were saying, obviously we've got Bella Canvas coming. They're big on sustainability, and how they make their products is very eco-friendly. So I think getting a perspective from not just us, but from them, and how that affects your brand as a whole is very important.
So you can understand how the whole product is sustainable for your customer, and then how to talk to your customers about that.
Exactly.
We'll be having a live Q&A section. There will also be a really interesting piece around cost calculation. So this is something that we see a lot of people are making mistakes with at the moment, is around costing their products. A lot of people are asking us, what should I charge for stuff? How much should I be expected to make from different products? So we're going to be having our experts in the fields of cost calculation to do the 2023 version of what cost calculation looks like these days. So that is going to be a really good one to attend. It's going to have lots of really valuable content about how to price your apparel decoration on demand business. We also have some other modules around pricing models.
I think that's very, very, I mean, everything in this event is going to be very valuable, but something that every time we talk about, it's all right, we'll resume. Every time we talk about costing and profit and the actual breakdowns of things, it always gets people's attention. And I think a lot of people don't really break it down as in depth as they should, or they don't know sort of how much money they're losing to things like time, or you should be adding on X amount for a quicker turnaround, that kind of thing, like to get into the nitty-gritty parts of costing to actually have a profitable business.
Absolutely. Then there'll also be the chance to hear from other customers who are being very successful. So,
okay, that's interesting.
So we'll be bringing in customers from around the world. So kind of on the global theme of trying to make sure that you can learn from all different customer types and all different people who have different niches. We're going to bring some different customers in from every continent, so that way you can learn and see what they're doing, have some fresh ideas of business approach for your business as well.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that one. That'll be good.
We have a really great presentation lined up around DTG versus DTF versus screen print. So we're going to be having someone come in to go through the different platforms, talk about the pros and cons, when you should use what, because they're all great options for apparel decoration on demand. But it's really important to choose the right one at the right time. So that's going to be something that will be very good to cover.
Common question as well.
Going back to your earlier question about heat printing, for beginners, there will be a module on heat press basics and comparisons. So anyone that is looking to get a first heat press, upgrade to a new heat press, this would be a really great one to join in on. We'll go over what's the kind of what to expect from a heat press, what to look out for, and some of the best tools for boosting efficiency and while still having the best product on the market. We'll be looking at the evolution of heat transfers, and again, what to use when. There's lots of different heat transfer products, then they all have a great time and place. But again, it's really important to choose the right product at the right time, and the variables that you need to consider for heat transfer vinyl versus direct to film versus plastisol transfers. So everything you need to know and what to pick when. Then we're going to bring some of the external experts back in as well to talk about blank apparel trends, what's upcoming, what to expect for 2024, just again to get you ahead of the curve, to make sure that you can see what's coming. So obviously, especially for our UK followers, it's still quite a long way away to print my own promotion. So I think I just realized I forgot to say what the date this event was. So apologies everyone, it's September 27th.
Then we're going to have to wait till the end of the podcast to know that, Andy. You've ruined it.
So there's still a long way towards print my own promotion, and then the next event that we'll be doing in-house here. So it's a great chance to kind of get ahead of the curve and start thinking about 2024 and what to look out for blank garments. And
also, you can get all of the information that you get from a trade show without leaving your house.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to have a really good conversation around heat transfer troubleshooting. So
that's going to be fun.
Things to look out for. So how to stop scorching on garments, how to deal with misapplication problems, just everything you need to know. If something goes wrong or something's going wrong, so that's going to be a really good one to bring your questions to. Be like, what happened? Why is this happening? What's going on here? You'll be able to hear from the experts and get those questions answered and fix those problems for you. And then there'll just be sort of another quick wrap up on how to set up the heat press department. And again, another question and answer session. So after a long day of excellent content, you will then be able to kind of like anything you forgot to ask earlier, or you wish I'd asked that in that thing, or you attended a different panel and then it triggered another thought process. You just have a question about that we didn't necessarily cover in a specific module. You just be able to ask us anything again, just to finish off the day. Just get those questions answered. So we want to make sure that there's no stone unturned to make sure that we get everyone the best possible education and make this a really valuable day. And kind of it's something to really kind of make sure you put a block out time in your calendar and be a part of the biggest virtual event ever for apparel decoration. Yeah, it's just as important as going to a trade show and meeting up with your suppliers, getting all the new information. It's going to be just as big, if not bigger. I do have a question. In terms of the actual events and talks and things like that, obviously it will be the speakers talking to the attendees, but will there be actual demonstrations? So will we have presses and transfers and applications, and will you be able to physically see it all rather than just us talking to a camera like we are now? So there will be hands-on applications. So there'll be some press-along kits that you can get hold of as well. So you want to be using the exact products, exact transfers. So you can follow along at home with exactly what the speaker's doing. And then we'll be doing demonstrations throughout the day. So especially around the like difficult materials to decorate on, the troubleshooting one, there'll absolutely be time for that. I can only speak for ourselves, but when it comes to the virtual booths as well, I know that we'll be have access to heat presses. So if you have a question and you want to be like, I've got a question about this, I'm struggling with this, we'll be in the innovation center when we're coming live. So we'll be able to go and get a heat press, figure it out and come back to you. Perfect. I think it covers everything that everyone would ever want to know in terms of a online trade show. That's it. So, make sure you hit that link in the description of this event. Make sure you're following us on all our social platforms. And because we've got lots and lots of event announcement over the next coming weeks. There's some things that you've left out, like some little nuggets, which I'm assuming we're going to drop between now and the event. So I'm looking forward to that. We will be. There's lots and lots of valuable stuff coming down the line as we kind of build towards the event. It's really important to note that you do need to register for this event. You will get a unique link the day before the event to attend. The event will be available on demand, but you only be able to access it if you have pre-registered to it. So if you want to be a part of it, you can, obviously, especially for anyone that's listening, perhaps in Australia, that's going to be sort of dipping in and out of the day. There will be the chance to just kind of watch it in your own time, but obviously you're going to get more value from joining in for the day. Being interactive. And anyone that joined us for Unleash the Colour a couple of years ago will know that it's really worthwhile staying in for the whole time, even though it'll be a little bit late when it finishes. It's worth taking that time because you won't get more education available to you again until this time next year, probably. And I mean, you say it finishes late. It's not that late. And also, if you're serious about it, we had how many people for Unleash the Colour stay on with us until 11, 12 o'clock, and they were all so engaged and got so much from it. So I think regardless of that, you should join. So make sure you join us on September the 27th for the global masterclass on apparel decoration. Just making sure we get it all in. So just to refresh, it will be across all continents, and it's going to have a real global flavor. So you will get the chance to learn brand new things from absolutely everyone. And if you've got questions, just DM us, send us an email. But there will be lots and lots of information available. Check out the frequently asked questions tab on the event page. But make sure you join us on the 27th of September, because this will be a really big event, and there's lots and lots of work that's gone into making sure this is the biggest global event ever. There's been a lot of planning involved, hasn't there? So that's it. I just wanted to do it's just a quick podcast this week because we have lots and lots of stuff coming up. If you haven't had the chance to already, do go back and listen to our chat on athleisure with Dry. We did film lots and lots of content around that as well. So we've got some really cool videos coming up for you as well. But
yeah, I think a couple of them are out. I think 1 or 2 of them are out on YouTube already. Yeah. But yeah, the last week's podcast was a good one.
The Levers 2024 template is live now. So last week we did a live on how to get hold of the template and some ideas around that, just kicking off that season. But the podcast, and that's a really good chat that we had as well about how to leverage that 24 template to use it from September all the way through to next July. Lots of different uses for that. So I'd encourage everyone to start thinking about that. And don't forget to like and subscribe.
That was going to be my next point.
For more content like this, we'll be back with another podcast next week.
We'll be live in about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you next week.